with me this morning, with everybody. We're creating this field of unlimited potential and synchronicities and miracles. So thank you very much. Can you please write to me how you're feeling today? If there's any miracles happening, what are you planning today? And today's subject, it's extremely important. It's actually interesting every time I prepare myself for sharing with you something really crucial for manifesting your miracles, creating and being a miracle worker. I get this sort of feeling, oh my God, this is so important. This is so crucial. And then, of course, we come to the next thing, and then it feels even more important. All of those things are important. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of making space for miracles, making space for new things, making space for love, making space for clarity, making space for peace. If we don't make space for what we want, it may come, but it may have nowhere to stay because there will be too much stuff around for it to find a place to sit, to fit. So that's why what I'm going to share with you today is going to be probably not just for today, it's going to be for the rest of your life, and certainly a daily practice for the rest of the challenge. So I'm going to talk about today about internal environment and external environment, creating spaciousness, order, clarity, lightness, and flow of energy in those two parts of your existence, the internal one and external one. And so I'm going to actually start with the external one, because in some ways it is something that it's easier to shift, to clean, to let go of, to organize. And so many of you know about Feng Shui, but a lot of people, like my mom, for instance, many years before she heard of Feng Shui, she's actually been an embodiment of order and clarity. And her mind is very clear as well. She knows what she wants, she knows what she doesn't want, and she's very organized, very clear. But her space around her, it's extremely ordered, it's extremely beautiful. And I want to share with you a book which has had very powerful impact on me. I read it, I think it was last year or the year before, and it's called Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. Now, she is a very famous Japanese speaker and a doer, and she talks about the actual importance of making space for joy. And she talks about that cleaning, it's not about cleaning at all. It's about creating spaces, an environment that sparks joy. And when she talked about it in her book, and I also listened to some of her videos, I thought to myself, well, this is exactly what was missing to convince me to actually like cleaning, because I actually don't like cleaning personally. I find it a little bit boring. But the way she approached it sparked joy in my mind. And you know, she teaches you those very simple techniques, and she goes through every single room in the house, starting with your bedroom so you can rest better, and your office so you can make more progress, and then through all the rooms in the house, including the kitchen and the bathroom. And you're meant to go through every single object in your house and pick it up and just go, does this spark joy in my life? Does it spark joy in my life? And yesterday, I was just mentally running through some of the things in my house, and I realized there are some things there still that do not spark joy. For instance, we have certain sort of forks and spoons that are from different sets. And there's some that I really don't like to use because they're beautiful, but they're heavy. You know, you pick them up and there's a sense of heaviness in them and with them. So when I eat, I feel there's something not quite right in my process of eating, and it's the spoon or the fork. Now, I sometimes use it because, well, it's just, speed. But actually, if I'm absolutely true to myself, if I'm absolutely honorable of myself, I should not actually use it at all. I should get rid of it. I should not keep it in the house even. So can you imagine if everything that you keep in your house, every single thing that you own, every single thing that you use sparks joy in your life? And particularly your clothes, and particularly the things which you use every day, like cups. Okay. So yesterday, my partner has taken loads of glasses and cups that I don't like, that he doesn't like. They're a bit heavy to use, and he put it away, and they're going to be removed and given to charity shop. So someone else may actually love them, find them useful, and it may spark joy for them. So when you think about things in that way, and when you order your space so it sparks joy, it's completely aligned with the philosophy of allowing miracles in your life. And I can't even tell you how important it is. And I remember a few times some of my feng shui friends over the years would come to me into the house, and they would look at some places and they would go, "Oh, do you have a challenge in this area of your life?" And I would go like, "Yeah, how do you know?" And she'd say, "Can you please throw this away, clear the bin, clear the space, and see what happens?" And indeed, every single time something shifted and things have changed and improved. So, and why is that? Because the internal environment and external environment are hugely, hugely connected. And so, please look around your house, around your room, and make sure that everything around you sparks joy. Everything around you makes you feel peaceful, relaxed, and happy, and takes you where you want to go, and it doesn't drain your energy. Now, the other aspect of clearing the space is actually a very, very important aspect of draining energy. You know, when we have around ourselves disorder, it does affect the way we think, but it also affects the energy flow in our space, whether it's office or a house, and it does affect the ability to think clearly, but also attract what we want into our life, because we are exhausted even looking at this place. So think about which area of your life, which area of your environment drains your energy. Is there a pile of papers? Like now on my table, there is a lot of papers from many different days of the challenge, and they need to be tidied today. I'm talking about clearing the space, so I absolutely will do that today. I will tidy the papers, and I promise you, in my office. And so, what is in your environment that is crying out for cleansing, ordering, sorting, to create more space for your miracles? Now, I want to also tell you a story which I remember. I think I was told this story about 20 years ago. I was in one of these amazing workshops, and this lady, her name was Nancy, the teacher, was telling us a story. And she actually was an intuitive psychic, but she also worked with feng shui. And she told us a story about a young man who was her client, and he called her one day, and it was a late evening, and he called her and he said, "Nancy, I'm going to commit suicide today. Life has been very hard. I had enough. It's not giving me joy. It's too much pain, too much hassle. And I think that I want to let you know, out of respect and love for all the work that we have done, I have decided to take my own life. And Nancy said to him, John, I absolutely respect that, completely. I would love you not to, and I would love to speak to you, but can you promise me something? Can you promise me something? And he goes, I promise you anything because I like you, you've helped me already, and I respect you. So she said, before you do it, could you please go to your office where you work so much, you spend so many hours of your days, and you open the drawer in your desk and clear everything out of it that is basically too old, that is disorderly, that creates chaos in your life. Throw away everything, clear in this drawer, and then when you've cleared it and you still feel like you want to clear more, clear the desk, the shelves in your office, okay? And so he said, I can absolutely promise you this. And she said, don't don't kill yourself. Don't do this before you've done the first stage, and then call me, okay? And so then she doesn't hear from him for a couple of hours, and she's a little bit nervous. And but he calls her and he goes, listen, Nancy, I've been cleaning like crazy. I've done the drawer, I've done the shelves, and I've done my whole office. And he says, I'm loving it. He said, I'm going to keep on cleaning for the rest of the night, and I will call you tomorrow morning. And I promise I'm not going to do this today. You know what I've told you. And what happened was he called her early morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he goes, Nancy, I have to thank you. You really made my day, made my life. I have to admit, I've never realized how much of this mess around me was pulling me down. And I've never expected that clearing the space, just simply clearing the space, may actually shift my mind on such a big decision like taking my own life. Now, I've never forgotten this. It has had such a powerful effect on me, this story. It stayed with me. And if this is true for him, how could it be true for us in some small ways? That we have in our space things externally that drain our energy, this dripping tap, the scratch on the window. I've had something recently where the window in the kitchen, which is very difficult to reach, there was a stain on it or something, like an oily spat. And every time I walk past it, and I'm like, oh God, this is really not nice. I must do it. But I didn't do it because, I do it later. I do it tomorrow. And every time I walked past it, it drained my energy. It pulled my energy. And I felt bad. Till I got up on the stool. It took me 30 seconds. I cleared the window and I felt amazing. So every time I come into the kitchen, there is spaciousness, clarity, and brilliance. And shininess. So this is just a metaphor for whatever you have in your life, whatever you have in your space. And so make a list of all the things that don't spark joy. Make a list of all the things that you would like to shift in your environment to allow more spaciousness, more miracles, and keep on going through your immediate environment where you spend most time. Go to the next place, go to the next place, and keep on clearing the space. Let me just see if we have any interesting comments here. I have to say that this system doesn't allow for very easy comment seeing, and I would so much love to see what you are saying. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? Okay. I would so much love to see what you are saying. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Does it make sense what I'm saying? Yes. Yes. Sylvia says clearing could be a real relief. Yes, and I think for people who feel overwhelmed and tired and exhausted, that could be an absolute gift, absolute way out. But now I'm going to talk about something even more powerful, more important, and it is clearing the internal environment, which is a slightly more challenging thing to do, but a lot more important in a sense, or equally as important. And why is that? You know, I often see people who come to see me and they have big dreams, big goals, they're starting businesses. And I look at them and I know that there is a lot of things that pulls the energy down, that stops them to move easily on the path, that takes them off the path even. That so if we keep on pushing hard and putting a lot of hard work into achieving what we want, but there are certain things internally in our environment that block us from progressing, block us from opening our wings like an angel and flying. If this is what's happening, then I think it's very, very important to take care of it and make sure that you give yourself some time to scan your emotions, scan your internal world, and know if there's any conflict. You may want to achieve something. On one hand, you absolutely want it, but on the other hand, you know if you achieve it and you become more successful, you will have less space and time for your family, for your loved ones, for your dreams, for your goals, for your hobbies, and that you will be very affected by the enormity of the project. So if that is not aligned internally, if you have not sorted this out, if you have not allowed yourself to find a way in your mind and in your soul and in your body to know that you can take care of yourself while you're being successful, while you're traveling, then the subconscious mind may be putting blocks on the way to allow you to achieve it. So that's why if you look at your internal environment and make absolute assure yourself that everything, but everything, it's aligned and it's going in the same direction. And I had a chat yesterday with my dear friend Agnes Khan, and we were talking about plans for 2020. And I said to her, you know, I have this slight decision to make. Slightly, part of me wants to do this, and part of me wants to do that. And she said, with the absolute clarity and shortness that Agnes can only do, she said, well, if you do not align them together, you don't clarify what you absolutely want to do, it will take you a terribly long time to achieve it, or it won't happen at all. And I said, well, absolutely. And so we also talked about how some of our clients, when they come with the weight on their shoulders of anger, let's say, for something that happened, could be 20 or 30 years ago, this space of creating miracles is taken up by being angry. There's only X amount of space in our mind and our beingness to operate from. So if this space is overtaken by something that happened to you when you were a child, you may or may not be even aware of, a trauma that happened when you were maybe in your 20s, something that happened to you when you were at school, and something that the teacher said that is still in your mind, you will never amount to anything, that you never achieve, that you've got absolutely no ability, no talent. Has anything like that happened to you in your life? Now, some of us do use those terrible experiences to our advantage, and we go, I will show you. And some of us allow that part of this story to pull us back. And if we honestly look at our life and see where the energy is being drained or where the energy is being blocked, it's up to us to go forward and clear it and make space for miracles, to make space for our dreams, to make space for what really we came here to achieve, to do, to give. And so now how do we do that? Now, this is a question worth millions of pounds or dollars. How do we clear this internal environment? Now, well, I have been doing this for many, many, many years. Good morning, Fran. Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful angels. Dora, good morning. And how do we clear this internal mess and the conflict? Well, there is a lot of things that you could do. I have studied for 27 years and I keep on studying and learning new things. Now, for some people, things that really, really work well are, let's say, tapping, which release your energy very quickly. For some people, it could be hypnosis. For some people, it could be dancing, shaking. In fact, probably the best thing to do is to combine the mental cleansing and clearing with the bodily somatic healing. So there's some massage therapies that combine healing form of therapy where you don't talk, but they touch your body and they feel the trauma and they release it. And I highly recommend it. In fact, I'm going to see someone like that on Friday where we don't talk. She sort of does a massage, but miracles happen through it. And so the other thing that I highly recommend where you've had a very, very stressful time and difficult time is havening. Now, havening, it's a very interesting technique where you caress your arms and you put yourself in a state of soothing. You soothe your nervous system. It's a very powerful technique, and I will put a link to this live for you. So if you haven't done the havening yet, you may find it extremely useful to soothe, to calm, to release some of the stress of the day. But it does actually go into the past and releases things from the past, from years back. And for some people, coaching works really brilliantly, therapy works brilliantly, but spending time in nature, having fun, swimming, running, all of that releases things at some level. So find the way that works for you. I mean, I have a friend who writes in her notebook every morning. There is a book called The Artist's Way, which talks about the morning pages where you write. Writing releases things beautifully for me as well. So when something happened in the past, which was too difficult, too challenging, too upsetting, what I did, I would go to bed in the evening and I would write and I would ask questions. I would ask questions of my soul, of my intuition. This is very upsetting. This is why it's upsetting. What can I do about this to create more clarity and heal this situation in my life? So if you have a practice that works for you, that's fantastic. Well, if you don't have a practice that releases those internal garbage and blockages, then find something that works for you, that you can use to heal yourself, to shift your energy, to change the flow of energy. Because if the space is overtaken by things that you feel angry, sad, guilty, ashamed of, and absolutely afraid of, and we talked about it already, then we don't leave enough space for the energy to flow, for the miracles to happen. And also when we are angry or afraid, the brain doesn't work properly and we do not have clarity on what to do next. So before making decisions, before tapping into intuition, which we're going to talk about soon in this challenge, make sure that you create a space of spaciousness, clarity, and emptiness. So the more empty you allow yourself to be in terms of environment, external and internal, the more miracles will happen in your life. And sometimes I have even seen such incredible things happen that, and that goes for working with the environment externally or internally. For instance, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she said to me, well, and she was a feng shui consultant, and she said to me, so what do you want? And in that specific time, I wanted to be in a relationship, and I got out of the old one, and it was the right time to move on to a new one. And I think I've given myself about a year to be alone. And she said, do you have anything of that other person in your house yet? And I said, oh yeah, I do. She said, release it, give it to charity, let that go. And when you're doing it, make a conscious decision, mentally, intentionally, that you're making space for a new person. And I did. And then within a few weeks, something happened, and the new person arrived into my life. It was as simple as letting go of a couple of things. They didn't take a very long time, but it took an intention. So when you're doing this exercise, make an intention. If you're clearing your space, just moving your few things around and washing things or giving things to charity, make the intention, the request, by throwing those things away or giving them away. I am making space in my life for miracles, maybe for a specific thing, but also for things that you have not expected, because there's so many things on its way to you right now that you have not even asked for, but the universe knows that you need it, so it's going to come to you very soon. So tell me, has anything like that happened to you when you let go of something, cleared your space, and amazing things started happening to you? I would love to hear from you. Now, also a thing that I would highly recommend to do, and I do that every year, is to make a list of things that you would lovingly want to let go of. So I make two lists. So one list starts with, I lovingly release from my life, and then you keep on writing everything in one go. Very quickly, you don't think about it, you write it all down, and then you write on another list, I lovingly welcome into my life, and you write what you want instead of those things. And so then what you can do with that list, the first one, you can burn it, you can cut it, or you can just leave it for the next few months and see how you're getting on with it. But when you're writing it, you read it again, you make an intention, you can make a prayer, and internally you make a decision that all of those things here on this list, you are letting go. Some people doing rituals of letting go. You know, when they wash hands, they're clearing the energy. I cannot go to sleep, and some of my friends know it. I cannot go to sleep at night if I don't have a shower. And it is not just about clearing my body. It's definitely about clearing my aura, clearing everything that happened during the day, all the challenges I may have had, or if I've seen clients or speaking to people, I'm clearing the energy. So when I go to bed, I'm just with my energy, with my soul, with my space. So I really, truly want to underline how important it is to make space for what you want, and constantly making space for it, constantly. And whenever there is anything, if I can't find something in my office, I'm looking for something and I can't find it, it is always a message, can you please clear your life? So I stop everything I'm doing and I start clearing, letting go of the papers. And I know it's time to pause. I know it's time to let things go. And often it's not just the papers I need to let go of. I don't know if they keep on multiplying themselves without watching. If that happens to you, it happens to me. You know, you don't look and then suddenly it's 20 more pieces of paper coming out of God knows where. So make sure that you have a system for it. And one of the miracles that happened to me, I had a friend some years ago who said to me, Gosha, put on the clock 15 minutes, not more, not less. And for 15 minutes, allow yourself to clear as much space in your office as possible and see what happens. And she said you can start with 5 minutes or 10, and so much can be cleared. So in 10 or 15 minutes, so we don't need to leave it for later. You know, I could talk about it so much, and I have convinced myself now to go and do some clearing today. So thank you for listening to this, because it actually helps me to, this whole process of the journey with you has created so much joy in my life. I can't tell you how grateful I am to you for taking part in this challenge. People are writing to me that I haven't seen for 5-10 years. They're telling me they're listening to the challenge and how it's changing things for them. And knowing that what I do creates value, it's one of the greatest joys in my life, and that's why I'm here. So thank you, Trina. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And let's finish off now with a little meditation that will allow you to create more space for your miracles. And so can you please close your eyes now? Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes only if you're not driving, of course, and breathe in. And allow yourself now to decide that every time you breathe out, you will let go of things that you don't need anymore in your life. You don't need to know what they are at this moment, but there could be specific things that you're thinking about. So when you're breathing in the light. When you're breathing out the unnecessary things, the things that drain you, maybe the relationships which are toxic, the fears that you have. So you take a deep breath in. You're breathing in the light. You're breathing out what you no longer need or want in your life. And take a few deep breaths in. Breathe in and breathe in the light. And as you're breathing out, you're letting go everything that you want to surrender to the universe, to the divine, that doesn't serve you anymore. Whether it's ideas, beliefs, feelings, situations, objects. And take another deep breath in. See the light entering your body, spreading through your body, spreading through your light. And as you're breathing out, you're letting go. And just imagine that you are actually standing right now at a beautiful river. And this river is made of light. It's like a normal river, but it's also made of light. And as you're standing by this river, you can let into it, you can let go or drop into it some of your emotional things that drain you, stop you, sadden you, pull you down, slow you down in achieving what you want. And what I would like you to do is to imagine that this river of light is specifically made for you. This is your personal river that is made for you to dissolve and take away everything that you no longer need. And so imagine that you drop into it some of your emotional fears, challenges, things that pull you down at this very moment, that concern you, and just drop into that river, all of those things, and see them immediately dissolving. Maybe it's an illness that you need to heal. Just imagine that you're dropping it into this unlimited spaciousness of light. And as the water keeps on running, it takes it away, removes it, and you just keep on basically letting things go. This river of light that it's flowing next to you. It's also a source of nourishment. It's also a source of cleansing, not just your emotions, but your body, your aura, your mind. And so at some point, I would love you to jump into that river or walk into it gently, slowly. First your feet, and then your knees, and then your belly, and then swim in it. And I would like you to imagine this is the unlimited richness, joy, unlimited potentiality in your life. And when you swim in it, not only it cleanses you all the way through, it travels to every organ in your body. And then maybe you can dive so you can touch your hair and your crown chakra, and your face is also washed through, clearing all the worries, the wrinkles created by worrying. And as you swim in it, you will receive the kind of nourishment that you need. And you don't have to swim in it. You can just stand in it up to your neck and feel the waves of energy entering your body. And then once you've done it, I would love you to come out slowly out of this river and stand in the sunshine, and you just stretch your hands up into the sky and feel this beautiful golden light also pouring down from the top into your head, into your body, dissolving and cleansing everything that you no longer need in your life, everything that has been slowly pulling you down, everything that's been affecting your energy, knowingly or unknowingly. And so as you look at this beautiful golden light pouring from the top all the way down into your body, allow yourself to also receive the blessings from the universe, the blessings from the people who love you, the blessings from all the visible and invisible forces and sources around you. So receive the blessings. Imagine right now that you are being held by the universe, that the universe got your back. And imagine that you are in this moment being hugged by your own angel, by your own personal guardian angel, which we all have. So you just imagine this hug, the wings of light being wrapped around you, and the angel saying something to you. It may be a message that will uplift you, maybe a piece of advice, something that will help you to move through this day and through this year in an effortless way. If you could ask your angel to give you some form of a message or advice or a blessing, what would they say? And if there's anything left in your mind that it's bothering you, that it's making you feel worried, concerned, or upset, ask your angel to help you, because remember, they cannot do very much if we don't ask them for help. So just say, hey, could you please help me with this? And give it to the angel, give it up to him or her, surrender it, and let it go. And then, just before you open your eyes, I would love you to imagine that you're putting it, you just come out of this river. So your clothes may be wet. Imagine that you're being given a completely new set of clothes, the most beautiful, the right color, the right shape, the right cut, whatever that is, put it on. And this new set of clothes is going to be just a confirmation for you that you are the embodiment of peace, love, creativity, and you attract everything in your life that you need with ease and grace. Notice how you feel in this new set of clothing. And this is going to bring you good luck, good day, and uplift your energy. So open your eyes, take a deep breath in. Thank you very much for joining me today. So today's challenge is to clear the space. If you could actually, because I've asked you to do many things and there's lots of possibilities, if you could please today look around in your environment and just do one thing that bothers you or drains your energy, and clear it and put it on the pile of maybe giving to a charity shop, just one thing. You can do more if you have time, but just one thing. And if you could also just think of one thing that you would like to let go of, emotionally or mentally, that has not been serving you over the years, and also do that. And whether you just do that in a form of a prayer or do some tapping or do some havening, just basically use it and do one thing internally, one thing externally. But if you make a list of all the things that you need to do for the next few weeks, give yourself time to create space for miracles and watch what happens. So thank you very much for being with me yet again at 8 o'clock in the morning. And thank you for sharing this live with your friends, with your colleagues, and your family. I really appreciate it, because more and more people watch it now. So do that now. This will help me, but it will also help other people. Wishing you the most incredible day, the most incredible evening. And I will see you tomorrow for number 9 of the Get Ready for Miracles. Thank you very much, Mi Virginia, for joining us. And Thank you. Thank you for supporting me in fulfilling my life's purpose and supporting other people, because the more joyous you're going to be, the more your life is going to be filled with miracles and lightness and happiness, the more you'll be able to serve others, and then we can change the world together. Thank you for all your comments. As Sylvia is saying, I'm doing a huge clearance at my house since Christmas. That's brilliant. It's definitely, Sylvia, going to affect the way you feel for the better. Have a beautiful day, everybody, beautiful evening, and I see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Lots of love.